Hello Connective, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you don't know how I work, I basically put a bunch of different cards on the table, tell a story, and then we talk about it. If you like the content on this channel, feel free to subscribe. Don't smash anything. And with that being said, let's get into this. This is an experiment. Months ago, my YouTube channel doesn't give me very many analytics, but a while ago somebody had visited my channel and they had, I guess, searched like something about how to gain confidence. And at first I was like, well, that's interesting. Like, did I have a video that I posted that had confidence in the name or something? And it was like, that was really the only thing I could think of. And then I thought about it and I was like, well, I could help somebody if they wanted to learn how to gain confidence. I mean, I'm sure it's much easier on a one-on-one basis. You're coaching somebody or something, you have to work with things that they're doing. But I thought that I would pull some cards and see if it would allow us to talk about that. And of course, I couldn't even talk about all the aspects of gaining confidence in one video. And of course, I don't have all the confidence in the world, but I will point out, ways where all of you have at least some kind of confidence. So, if this works out, we might do multiples of these videos. Maybe so different aspects of this can come out if somebody was wanting to gain confidence and they were clicking on videos that might be fun for them. So I'm really going to see where this reading goes. I would love to do more stuff like this, to where we ask a question and we get an answer. Some of these cards and some of these decks might be conducive to that answer, some might not. So we're just going to deal with that as it comes and see what's going on. These are mostly shuffled, but I like to kind of feel like they're ready before I pull or try to get jumpers. So we're going to start with the energy deck. See if it wants to talk about anything that would help us to understand how to gain confidence. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. What do we got? Thank you. My cat. All right, so I have to be really careful with these glasses. All right. Blossoming abundance and door to romance. Well, that's interesting. Okay. I'm thinking too that Alice the Wonderland might help us out with this one. I'm gonna shuffle it a little bit. Looking at all the cards that can help us with this reading. Trying to figure out what order we want to do this. I do want to hit these trigger cards because we're really going to need to talk about that, but okay, let's see what combination we get before we get too excited. What's this? Nonsense. It's time to talk sense. Okay, this is awesome. Okay, yeah, we can talk a lot about confidence with these cards right here. If these cards don't make any sense to you for confidence, then it's going to be real fun. Okay, all right, so now I've got the Moonology, the manifestation deck. I like the manifestation deck because before when I bought my first Moonology was just the regular Moonology deck, Moonology Oracle deck, and I like it. But it doesn't have the quarter moons. It has, all the full moons and all the new moons, and then it's got like, eclipse, and there's a card for like the void of course moon, which if you don't know what that is, it's like when the moon's in between two signs kind of thing. It's kind of like nothing's happening. So it has cards like that, which are great, for like other moon like aspects and things like that, and full and new moons. But if you really want like a message of a quarter moon or a third quarter moon, this is the deck, the Moon Manifestation Oracle, and those are the only cards that are in there. It doesn't have eclipse or anything like that, unless I'm mistaken, but I don't believe so. And again, I like to use them for zodiac signs. I like to use them for timing. Not necessarily timing, you know, in the real world. It might be timing in the zodiac, as far as like when I'm looking at a spread and there's, you know, I might put the signs in the order that they fall on the calendar. But realistically, your new and full moons will fall in order on the calendar, but your quarter moons and your third quarter moons are going to be all willy-nilly. So it's not like you're going to get the third quarter Scorpio before you get the full Scorpio moon. It's not like that astrologically. So, you know, again, I might use it for like the third quarter when the moon is in third quarter Scorpio as my timing card. So it just depends on what's going on. Okay, I think we're done shuffling these. You know what? I think we're going to look for jumpers on these. So yeah, I'm going to keep going with the jumpers. Her, I think we pulled. Nonsense is great. That's great. Now remember, again, we're going to go through this one more time. The question is about gaining confidence. And, you know, a lot of people, they want confidence, or they think they don't have confidence, but, you know, they think that other people that have confidence. Cool, because I was just going to say one more time. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. So we were going to leave this one without zodiac signs, but I guess we're not doing that. So we got the full moon in Leo, which is Go Wild. We have full moon in Aquarius, which is Be Real. We're going to get to that. And first quarter moon in Gemini, Speak Your World into Being. So we're going to put first quarter in Gemini first, and then we're going to put the full moon in Aquarius next, and then we're going to put full moon in Leo down here. Apparently I like to put the quarters before we'll figure it out. Okay, so, all right. I kind of do want to get a couple more messages before we get into this. We did say triggers too, didn't we? Yeah. All right. Yeah, we should touch on that just a little bit. This deck we're going to go through once. If it doesn't want to talk, it's got one chance. That's it. Yeah, because these will be more like piecemeal messages, and it'll just be something to add. But yeah, it doesn't have to talk. And then, you know, I just want to honor the empaths that might be in the room. Been a little while since we played with these, and hopefully that for this particular question, the message that comes out kind of goes with it. Let's see what's up. All right, maybe if it wants to talk, it's not relevant. It may not want to talk. All right, well, that's not. It does not denote relevance. Hold on, we're almost done with this one. Okay. Yeah, no. Okay, so good to know. Doesn't mean they won't talk later, but for right now, these two don't count. All right, so yeah. All right, we're just gonna, wow, I was gonna say once, but that was like the whole deck in my hand right there. Let's see. Any more, anything? Nothing? Ooh, okay, so I think that this reading is telling you that if you want to be confident, don't have any triggers. For real. When you react in situations, and I'm not talking about responding, I'm talking about reacting. When you react in situations, you lose your shit, you look irrational. That does not reflect confidence back to you from other people. So, of course you can get angry, things happen, of course, there's reasons to be angry and all that stuff. But a true, sorry, a true leader doesn't react like that. I don't care who says what. I don't care how much money somebody has. If they're blowing up on everybody or victimizing people or stepping on people's necks, that isn't confidence, okay? It may look like confidence to someone who doesn't think they have confidence, but that's not it. Just to let you know. That's more like bullying and overpowering people. This is the balance deck. This one may not talk either. Well, this card did come out in my hand. It's interesting though. No triggers came out, no shadow stuff came out, and no codependency cards came out of what we're talking about here. That's a lot of cards. We're going to keep them. All right. We're going to keep them all. All right. We don't necessarily need those right now, but I do have one more. Okay. This is just that little crystal deck. And these little messages, but also I specifically want to talk about something that's related to this deck. Okay. Wow. All right, I think this one's done. Either all the cards are going to fall on the table or a couple. So here we go. So just curious as to what it says. Okay. All right, we'll get to those. We're going to get to those because there's a whole message down underneath, and I just wanted to see the core message. So, okay, we're going to talk about these afterwards, and then I'm going to do an extended on this one for people who really want to get into this, and it won't be that long. And we'll just we'll pull a blind spot card in that one, and we'll talk about that a little bit, but I'm going to shed some light here. I'm going to shed some light on some blind spots here on the table. So yeah, if you're not interested in the extended, we're going to talk about stuff here. How to gain confidence. Okay. So first cards that came out, we'll start with the energy of the situation. Let me just kind of pull them a little bit closer to me here so I can, because we're going to get to her next. So I'm going to put her here. Okay. So these two cards, very interesting. If you're into numerology, the Blossoming Abundance card is card number 3, and the Door to Romance is card number 33. These are my numbers. But anyway, as far as confidence goes, the big thing here, this is, I know it's backwards, the Blossoming Abundance card. So you must have heard people talk about, a feeling of lack, or if you're having a spiritual awakening, and you've heard people talk about getting out of lack and stuff like that. Okay, lack is a mindset, and it's one of your biggest issues because if you have the mindset of lack, then it affects a lot of areas in your life, which is going to affect your confidence. Okay, people who go through some type of training to get out of that, so to speak, people who are working on that, they are taught to know that they're going to be taken care of. To know that they will be provided for. It's kind of like those people that sometimes they're religious, sometimes they're not, but they say, God will take care of me. God will provide for me. I know that my God won't let me suffer, or whatever it is that they say about being taken care of. Now, that's for some people, I think they think of it as the bare minimum. I won't, be homeless in the street or whatever. But blossoming abundance, I'm talking about knowing that all your resources are there. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about knowing that God has already provided, knowing that what you have inside of you is all you need to complete this journey. Of course, we're going to keep learning and keep growing, but that's what I mean. You're going to pick up more things along the way. They're going to help you take the next step. They're going to help you get to where you need to be, and it's going to be abundant. It's going to blossom each step of the way. Okay, so if you go through life and you think that there isn't enough of, I don't care what it is, it's affecting your confidence. If you think there's not enough food, then you're affecting your confidence in whether or not you're going to be able to eat or feed your kids. If it's affecting your money, same thing, or maybe even worse. You put it into everything, and now all of a sudden you've got lack everywhere. That's not confidence. You can't be confident like that. So the first thing is, if you are spiritual, if you consider yourself to be a spiritual being, the first thing that you need to understand is that this is already available to you. Sure, there's blocks and things like that get in the way. Most of the blocks are done by you. Your disbelief that abundance is out there, your disbelief that there isn't any lack, your disbelief that we're not all sharing the same cracker. So it's one of those things where it's like, do you want to believe that? Do you want to believe that you need to scramble and scrimp and, scratch and yank things away from people? Or do you believe that there's enough for everybody, right? Because if you believe there's enough for everybody, you'll be confident. And then when it does come time where there might not be enough for everybody, you'll be more resourceful about how to get enough for everybody, because you're not stuck in this mentality of, oh, I knew it. There's not enough for everybody. Now we're all going to starve. Understand? That person looks a little bit different from the outside than the person that says, okay, well, what are our resources? Well, what do we have to work with that we can solve this problem? That's confidence. Right? Most of the time, the people that are in the room who don't feel confidence about the situation will step back and they'll let the other ones make the decision. And it's always the loudest. The ones that are worried about lack can talk just as loud as the ones that are confident about finding a solution to any problem, right? And then the ones that aren't sure, you kind of go back if you listen to, well, who's right? The person that says there's plenty of resources is right, okay? If you don't think so, maybe you should find that person who's hoarding resources. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. Okay? But on top of that, if those people that are in the room that don't want to speak, don't want to chime in, don't talk about, whatever it is, they still are confident about something. They're either confident that there aren't enough resources, or they're confident that there are enough resources, or they're confident that that person's right, or that person's right, or that they're going to die. They're confident about something. So there's that. So already people who don't have confidence, they have confidence. We'll talk about that again. Then we have the door to romance. Okay. Sometimes you don't really feel confident, but then you meet someone who, well, I was going to say has confidence in you, but I wasn't even really going in that direction. I was kind of more going in the direction of, like somebody who makes you feel like you want to be better. You're going to be confident in the fact that you want to be better, right? But let's also say that they have confidence in you, right? They have confidence. They just, let's say you have a business, you're not sure how it's going, but you meet this person who doesn't have any business sense, but they have confidence in you. They tell you, you're going to be fine. You're going to figure this out. You got to this point. You worked your way to this point. Nobody gave it to you. You'll figure out the next step, right? Sometimes the people around you can give you confidence. You can do anything you want, Sally. You can be whatever. A lot of times moms, that's kind of their job to tell you. There's no limit on what you can accomplish, right? Because the lack would be, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do that. Just listen. Some people want you to do things because they want you to do things, but some people are truly encouraging you. They might even have an idea that you're not interested in, but it's still encouragement on their part. They're not like, oh, you should go do this. We're not talking about that, right? And even when somebody is doing that, right? But we're talking about somebody who truly loves you, not people who are trying to take away your confidence, okay? Which brings me to this. The rabbit hole. All right. So I think I read it, but I'm going to read it again. Nonsense. It's time to talk sense. So, your confidence. Okay, first of all, if you're making up lies, if you're saying things that aren't true, it doesn't matter how. Some people think, oh, this person, they swindled us, they did this con, this and that, da, da, da. Sure, they might be confident, especially if they're good at their jobs or whatever and taking somebody else's money. But if they're like a person that's doing it based on, let's just use the example of a business model that isn't like, hasn't come to fruition yet. It's not like completed. Like maybe we're talking about building a rocket, but the rocket's not complete yet, right? But we're telling everybody that we're going to finish it and it's going to be great and all this stuff, right? I may look confident to the other people. I may even be confident. I may even totally think that I can build this rocket even though 10,000 people have told me it can't be done. And I could be right, okay? But if I know I'm lying, if I'm telling a story on purpose because I know this damn thing isn't going to work, right? That's not confidence that you're looking at. That's something else, okay? I know they look confident from the outside. I get it. If they really, really think that they can do it, then that's that confidence that's there. If they're lying, then the confidence probably has something to do with the fact that they think they can swindle you. They're talking nonsense. Okay? When you talk nonsense, you don't have a whole lot of confidence. You don't have confidence in what you're saying. It's like if you're lying, like trying to lie your way out of something you got caught in your relationship, whatever. I'm just going to throw out there that sometimes when things happen and people aren't happy with each other, you don't have to lie your way out of it. But let's say you say something that you know you can't have confidence in, and you do that shit all the time. Guess what's going to happen? You're not going to be confident. When people tell you stuff, you're not going to be confident that they're telling you the truth either. You're going to start projecting, right? Person's lying to me. How do I know? Because everything that comes out of my mouth is a lie, right? I'd be confident of that. The only problem is I can't be confident that what they're telling me is a lie. Especially in situations of romance. I might have actually found a good person, but I can't. I can't. Just talking nonsense, right? That person that's not talking nonsense still has an option to be solid and to have confidence. The person that's talking nonsense and knows they're talking nonsense, they already know. They're just worried that everybody else knows. All right. So I got 3 cards. I got 3 cards here for the zodiac, but I'm just going to do one extended for this one. So we have first quarter moon in Gemini, speak your world into being. Full moon in Aquarius, be real. Full moon in Leo, go wild. Okay, so again, this is what we're talking about being real. Being real and stop talking nonsense. That is not going to give you confidence. It doesn't matter what you do. It could be in your job. Let's say your job is to do something that's less than honest. Even if you're not the one who's being honest or not being honest, let's say somebody is making it look like you're the one that's not honest. You're not going to be confident, okay? You trust me, I got a story for that one, but I'm not going to tell it. Now, this one, as far as speaking your world into being, again, this is about manifestation, which is what we were talking about with abundance. We were talking about lack. If you're lack, you're manifesting lack. If you believe in lack, you're manifesting lack. If you believe in abundance, you're manifesting abundance. Speak your world into being. What are you saying? Again, are you talking nonsense? Because if you're talking nonsense, you're speaking your nonsensical world into being, you're going to end up in Wonderland. Alone. Go wild. You can be timid about things sometimes, but when you truly do believe in something, you should follow that. That's how you get your intuition to kick up, because you listen the first time. I have a very simple story for that. If you're going through your house and you're getting ready for work and you do the same thing in the same order every time, and you go past something that you're supposed to take with you, and your brain says, hey, you better grab that coffee cup or whatever, and you go, no, it's not time to grab the coffee cup, and you finish getting ready and all that stuff, and then you walk right out the door without the coffee cup. That was your intuition telling you, hey man, you might forget that coffee cup, you won't want to grab it now. Just grab it now, right? So when you start listening, you start being like more, actionable about listening and like doing things, you're going to gain confidence because you're going to trust your intuition, and your intuition is going to tell you a lot of things, especially when you're dealing with people, but it'll tell you things about business deals. It'll tell you a lot of things about situations that you're in, that when you're dealing with people and things are kind of going sideways, your intuition will tell you a little bit of what's going on there, right? And we have 2 more. And the reason why I wanted to bring these up was because this is called kyanite. It says make time for self-care. Taking care of yourself is essential right now. So again, confident people don't like not take care of this. I mean, there's something called workaholic, you know, and that if you're a workaholic, you might not spend as much time taking care of yourself as you should. You could even lose sleep. You might stop doing the things you like to do. Yes. Is a workaholic confident? They're probably tired, stressed, distressed, possibly exasperated. They could have PTSD and they're tired. Did I say that already? So, you know, again, are they confident? They might look confident when they're doing their job or whatever, but are they? And again, do you live with this person when they go home at night and they, you know, whatever it is they do when they go home? Some people go home and cry. So don't assume that because you see somebody and how they act during the day that they go home and don't eat a gallon of ice cream or whatever it is that people do when they're in mourning, right? So we got clear quartz. Let yourself feel all your emotions. All right, this one is a little dark. Your entire rainbow spectrum of feeling is sending you important messages and guidance. So again, we're talking about your intuition, right? Your intuition is telling you when it's actually telling you anything you want to know. It's telling you when to get out of this lane, who to avoid that day because they're fighting with their wife or whatever is going on. You know, that could give you confidence just listening to your own intuition. So we're going to pull a couple more cards in the extended. We're going to actually talk about what it looks like when you start to gain confidence, when the steps are, I don't know if I would call them steps, but we'll get into it. And we'll pull a blind spot card to see if maybe, you know, you should have more confidence, but maybe something's getting in the way. We just look at that. It's not going to be for all of you necessarily. Unless a lot of us have the same blind spot, but there's a lot of cards in that deck. But again, I want to remind you of something, you know, all of you, every single one of you, I don't care who's out there, are confident about something, right? There's one thing you could say with confidence. You probably have said with confidence. If you can't think of it, one of your family members might be able to point it out. Might have been something you said multiple times, right? Pretty confident about it, right? One thing could be anything, right? So 2 things. One, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Are you confident about something that gives you power in your life, something that can help you like heal or move forward or prevail or give you strength or anything? Are you using that confidence for a good thing? Or are you using that confidence to convince yourself of doom or to hold yourself back or to talk nonsense? Because I'll tell you something, if you have enlightened people around you, you don't have to be very enlightened. If you have enlightened people around you who talk a lot of nonsense, they can see it. They can see the confidence in the nonsense. And it's a good possibility if they're well balanced, which none of these cards came out. They're not going to say anything to you. They're going to let you be that way if that's how you want to be, especially if it doesn't cause an argument, if it's not some toxic behavior or something like that, if it's just holding you back. You understand? So again, blocking your own confidence. Think about it. Think about what you're confident about. If you're truly interested in this subject, write a list of things that you're confident about. And then after you're done with this list, don't stop. Write the whole list until you run out of things to be confident about. Split that list in half. How many good things and how many bad things? Is there a way that we can take some of those bad things and turn them into good things? Is there a way that we can look at that situation that we feel bad about, that we're confident about, and just look at it a different way that's not so negative, that's not detrimental to what we feel or what we're trying to do? Is that possible? And the second thing is, what are you confident about? Is it important? Are you not confident about the things that are important? Because I could see how you would think you didn't have confidence if you were. But trust and believe. Everyone has confidence. It's just a question of where you're putting that energy. Right? All right. So if you care about this, if this is your story, or just interested, we're going to do the extended. Meet us over there. If not, until we meet again.